Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Conan. We need to talk about the new look Luka Lakers because they have been building up a lot of hype over the last few games. Last night they had their biggest game yet, facing off against Dallas, of course, the Luka revenge game. There was a Jordan commercial that dropped beforehand. Tensions were high. Nico Harrison was in the building and Lakers fans chanted, "Thank you, Nico," when I believe Luka was at the free throw line at one point. So clearly they're very appreciative of him giving them their next generational star. And it was a great game, just basketball wise. It was really back and forth because despite the Mavericks missing like AD, Gafford, and Lively, they've been playing teams really close regardless. They are just one of those squads that has a number of players step up. Doesn't matter who's injured. Kyrie had some crazy moments. Max Christie played really well in the first half, but in the end, it just was not enough as Luka drops a triple-double in his first game against his former team. Didn't score a ton, but the playmaking was ridiculous. LeBron became the scorer for them down the stretch, had a crazy fourth quarter. Austin Reaves continuing to play the great ball that he's been playing. And yeah, they get out of there with a pretty fun win. Again, really good back and forth game. And this comes on the heels of their best win of the Luka era so far. While this one was like the most important in terms of the storyline, the Dallas one, the Denver win is the one that really was impressive to me because this is a team in Denver that has just completely obliterated the Lakers at like every turn in recent history. Over the past couple of years, it hasn't mattered if the Lakers build up a big lead or have this big momentum shifting comeback. Denver just always wins. That's the way it goes. Denver beats the Los Angeles Lakers, whether it was in the playoffs, it's in the regular season, they always win. But in this one, that wasn't the case. The Lakers led for, I believe, the entire game. I don't know if the Nuggets ever had a lead. And after Lakers continued to build it up, the Nuggets made a bit of a comeback. I think it was in that third quarter. And it's like, okay, here's the script again where the Lakers led by a lot, but Denver goes ahead and wins anyways. But no, the Lakers went ahead and slammed the door shut, winning this one by 23 points and giving Jokic one of his worst games I've seen in a long time. They were sending body after body after body at Nikola Jokic, just sagging off on the perimeter off of Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook and some of the guys on that Nuggets roster like Zeke Naji, who really can't make much happen out there on the perimeter at this point. They were not even like just doubling Jokic as soon as he caught the ball. It's the second anybody even looked to throw Jokic the ball, they were shading off of everybody else. They were saying, we are not letting Nikola Jokic get shots up whatsoever, and they did a great job of that, and it just completely wrecked the Denver offense. Redick said after the game that he was up for like 72 hours or something like that, leading into this one, game planning, coming up with a strategy to help them beat the Nuggets because he felt like this was one that they really needed to win. And I agree. I've seen a lot of Nuggets fans saying, oh, this was their NBA Finals. I think more so than anything, this was just a moment where the Lakers could get confident. They needed to see that they could beat this Nuggets team, that this new look squad is different, that things are not going to be the same with Luka Doncic in town. And they haven't been so far. They have looked really scary at times, and it reflects in the stats. Over the 6 games since Luka came into town, the Lakers have the 7th best net rating. They have, surprisingly, the 5th best defense. They have been clamping up on that end, including in that Nuggets game like I talked about. And the offense hasn't even been that insane so far. They're just the 15th or rather 16th ranked offense through these first 6 games. And that does include the one game against the Blazers that Luka didn't play. But yeah, the Lakers have looked really good over the course of the new Luka Doncic era. They're 3-2 in the games that he's played in. There have been some big time things to be optimistic about. And the number one thing has been that defense. They have really just adopted this swarming mindset. They don't have the size that a lot of teams do. They don't have great big men, but they're going to make things difficult. They're going to make sure that the best players see a lot of bodies. They're getting in passing lanes. They're trying really hard. That's really the big thing, is that there has been a ton of defensive effort. It's like the Lakers heard the talks that, hey, you can't defend. And they said, okay, we're going to show you that we can. And I want to give JJ Redick a lot of credit for getting this type of buy-in. I've continuously this season been impressed by him as a coach. I don't know why the prevailing narrative the second he was hired was, oh, it's just because he and LeBron are friends. Like, we haven't heard him talk numerous times about basketball, and it was clear he was a brilliant basketball mind, and he's showing that. But the main thing is that the Lakers are buying in on the defensive end. Like, LeBron is playing better defense than I've seen him play in a long time, and time is going to tell as to whether that keeps up. Like, is he going to be playing at this type of effort, this type of level for the rest of the season as we head into the playoffs? Or is it just like, hey, you know, I've got the energy right now, he's reinvigorated because Luka's in town? I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see. But like, shout out to Dorian Finney-Smith, who has been a big time game changer for this team on the defensive end, was flying around the perimeter last night. Luka isn't the best defender, but he's trying his best, and he was much better in this game and in the Denver one than he was in their loss to Charlotte, where LaMelo Ball and that whole Hornets team were just hunting him down the stretch stretch of the game. Jackson Hayes is doing what he can as a rim protector. Guys like Rui Hachimura and Austin Reaves are buying in. Everybody is bought in on that defensive end, and that's big for the Lakers. They're going to continue to need this high level of effort, great scheming, game planning from JJ Redick if they want to be a good defensive team, because the personnel isn't really there. But at the very least, they can give effort and they can do what they can coaching-wise to hide the flaws that do exist on that end for this roster. Ultimately, I do expect them to regress a little bit on that end, but at the same time, I expect them to be a lot better offensively. They're not a middle-of-the-pack offensive team with Luka, LeBron, and the guys that they have surrounding them. And I think the big reason why they haven't had the offense that we were expecting so far is because Luka's still getting comfortable. The one game where he had like a big scoring explosion against the Nuggets where he had 32, 10, and 7, they went out there and put up 123 points. So if we get more usual Luka performances, I expect that offense to come up quite a bit. Like last night, he was 6 of 17 from the floor, 5 of 18 against the Hornets, just 6 of 13 in 23 minutes against the Jazz in their second game that they lost. In the first game that they won, just 5 of 14. It feels like he's still trying to get to his spots. I mean, he hadn't played since Christmas before debuting as a Los Angeles Laker, so I was expecting some rust. And I think last night with the high emotions, I'm not surprised he didn't shoot the best. He even said after the game in his post-game interview that he really didn't know what he was doing out there sometimes. He was just kind of blacked out, like locked in. But yeah, I think Luka's offense is going to continue to improve, and we know how Luka plays in the playoffs. He is one of the best playoff performers we've seen in a while. He's one of the league's most dominant scorers. And the main thing I think that's been promising is that this Luka-LeBron pairing has been pretty dynamic. It's been really fun. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, these two guys can't play together, but I never really understood that because LeBron and Luka have both played a lot of off-ball throughout their recent careers. Like Luka was just playing with Kyrie Irving, and LeBron has played with AD, and of course a million other stars, and usually those are the two guys that have the ball in their hands, but they've shown a capability to do it. Now I guess you just have to ask, can they do it more frequently now? Can they share back and forth? But they're going to be staggering minutes a lot, and in the minutes they've played together, it's worked because Luka is a super dynamic offensive player that can knock down the three ball, that can attack closeouts, that can play down low because he has a lot more size than most guards do. LeBron James, of course, is just one of the best offensive players ever too, and he has become a really reliable outside shooter, which is a big necessity if he's going to be playing off ball. That way teams have to respect that shot. And of course, you're not going to give LeBron James just a wide open look from three or the ability to just have all this space to build up steam going downhill. So this duo in my mind was always going to work. It was just a matter of if the supporting pieces would be enough, specifically on that defensive end. And again, they've been defending really well. There was a lot to be impressed by with this team up until this point. Now, there are some notes of concern. Like, it's not all been perfect for them. I mean, they're just 3-2 since Luka came here, and the two losses are to really bad teams, with the Utah Jazz and the Hornets knocking them off. With the Hornets game, like I said, LaMelo is targeting Luka a lot, and I worry with the best of the best when we get into the playoffs. Is that going to become a common theme, or they just continuously attack Luka like we saw with Boston out there in the finals? And a lot of teams are going to try to do that, but not everybody has the talent. But when you play, the top tier squads that you want to beat, if you're trying to win a championship like the Lakers are, that could be an area of concern. Also with the Utah Jazz, they gave up 131 points, and a lot of that was points in the paint. They gave up 54 on the inside, which is way more than they scored. And like John Collins, 17 points. That's a guy with size. 32 from Lauri Markkanen, 16 on perfect 8 of 8 shooting from Walker Kessler, and each of those guys had 2 offensive rebounds. There were 2 offensive boards from Jordan Clarkson, who had 21, 20 on 7 of 12 shooting from Keontae George. They got torched by Utah, who has been really bad overall on this season. And while JJ Redick has done a great job overall game planning, I worry about in a playoff series if they're going to be able to continuously shut down the best offenses 4 times out of 7 to go ahead and grab wins, or if more games like this, where again, Utah put up 131, could start to pop up, because as good as the Lakers offense I think will start to be, I just think that they're going to have to find a way to consistently get stops. And maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I need to just buy in more to what we've seen so far from this Lakers defense, because again, they've been really good so far with Luka in town, but I just keep expecting it to drop at least a little bit. And I guess we'll see. They have a schedule coming up that is going to force them to prove that they are the juggernaut that a lot of people are making them out to be, because they play a ton of really good playoff teams heading down the stretch of this season. Like coming up, they've got Minnesota, they've got the Clippers twice, they've got the Knicks, the Celtics, the Bucks. They have a rematch rematch against Denver on March 14th. They've got the Suns, the Spurs, Denver again, Milwaukee. They play Indiana later this season, Memphis, Golden State. They play the Thunder back-to-back. They play the Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, and that Dallas game, that's Luka's return to Dallas, which hopefully Anthony Davis will be back for. That'll be a cool, like, double kind of revenge game there. But yeah, they've got some really good teams coming up. They've got chances to prove themselves, and they're gonna have to showcase it. A lot of people are saying that they're championship contenders, that this could be the team to come out of the Western Conference, and I am not ready to say that. I'm not going to say they're championship contenders. I've continuously made the point that it's just basically impossible to win a title when you bring in as significant of a piece as Luka during the middle of the season. I just don't know if that's possible when you're going to be playing teams that have built up a lot more chemistry, that are more well-rounded, and I've just got a bigger sample size of them being successful. Of course, my favorite team, the Thunder, I think would be the Lakers in a series. I also still think Denver would beat them in a series. Memphis is interesting. I need to see how this team looks. Specifically, how does John Morant look in the playoffs? Because if he's playing the way that he has a majority of this year, I worry a lot about Memphis not having like that guy to elevate them. But yeah, I think there are some tough teams that the Lakers could go ahead and face, and I'm not quite there yet. Maybe if they go through this second half of the season schedule and just dominate, they go crazy, they end up as like a top 3 seed, or even if they don't, if they just show the continued promise that they've displayed so far, maybe I'll buy into a little bit more. But I need to see more before I'm willing to say that a team that added an MVP level player mid-season and completely shifted their identity is a championship contender. But hey, if there's a team that could prove me wrong, I guess it would be the team that has the greatest to ever play the game and a top 5 guy in Luka. So yeah, I'm just excited to see how this Lakers thing continues to evolve. It's been easily my favorite storyline going into the second half of the season. How do these two superstars play off of each other? What does the defense continue to look like? How can JJ Redick continue to mend this thing, figure it out on the fly with such a big shift? And so far, it's worked for the most part. They've made a couple of statements, but it hasn't been as just completely dominant as I feel like some people are making it out to be. There are legit concerns. There are things to be really excited about. They are the most interesting team by far in the NBA right now. Some people think they're contenders. Some people think they're a first-round exit waiting to happen. I'm in the middle. I think like a second-round exit would be just fine for this Lakers team, and then you kind of try to retool things in the offseason. I wonder how they would look if they did end up bringing in Mark Williams. That whole situation is also still really weird with them saying he failed his physical, and his agent, I mean, I guess of course his agent is going to say he shouldn't have failed his physical, but his agent and like the Hornets being like, no, it's their fault, not Mark Williams' fault. Just a super weird season. The weirdest one that the Lakers have had in a very long time. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Lakers at the moment. Really good team. Not ready to call them a contender. Still kind of worried about the defense, even though it's been great. I think the offense is going to be better as Luka gets more comfortable with what they've got going on and just kind of gets back into his rhythm. Again, hadn't played since Christmas before he debuted with LA. I love the way that Austin Reaves has been playing. JJ Redick has been coaching this team. The defense of like a Dorian Finney-Smith. Gabe Vincent is again like a decent player, which is cool to see. After last season, he was terrible when they signed him. Jordan Goodwin, shout out to him. He's been pretty fun. Like Jared Vanderbilt has been playing really well. That's another guy that I didn't mention that is just a big time game changer on the defensive end. They need him to continue to be healthy. It's been hard for him in his recent career, but that's a guy that I think really changes this dynamic. And yeah, interested to see how it looks heading into a playoff scenario, how it looks with this tough schedule for the rest of the season. Love to hear your thoughts on the Lakers right now. Do you think they're contenders? Do you think that they're not? Are they like a second round exit? Could you see them making the conference finals? What is the ceiling on this team at the moment? And what would you like to see them do in the offseason if you do think they aren't at that contender level yet? I appreciate you watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Yeah, appreciate you watching. I'll see y'all later. Real one, stay back.